Welcome along, everyone. What was it like, that experience, jumping into your first race?
It's been my life ever since I can remember.
Look, it really was unbelievable.
I think it's awesome.
Just go out there and give it your all every time. And
when you're young and you get in your old man super stock and you wreck it, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Craig Booker with the big smile. He is the voice that's behind what you get to hear every Sunday night.
Give it the hoot, Daddy. Look at that field. Doesn't it look fantastic?
Hey everyone, welcome along to your Wednesday Motorsport Speedway fix. It's in the cockpit with KINSER. My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us. I know it's rather cold out there, but hopefully you're looking out yourself. At least, hey, in some places up and down the country, it's not raining. Don't mind a winter when you get a cold one. You get a nice day for a few hours and it gets cold. It's the wet stuff that we can't deal with. But you know what we can deal with is having a chat with, well, some would say is one of the best on the dirt going around, Michael Pickens. But my mate, he's good on the dirt when it comes to online. He's good at commentating as well. It's Booker. Hey, mate, how are you?
Hey, mate, good on the dirt when it comes to online racing. Good in the seat.
How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm excited for another great show tonight, I'd say, with Michael coming to join us and talk everything Michael Pickens and how good he's done this season. Oh, I mean, it's just outstanding, really, isn't it? I mean, there's not really words that can explain it, but... mate, a lot going on for us as well at the moment. I had the privilege of going down to Palmerston North on Saturday night and joining Peter Rees and going live to present a cheque to Nicola Street, I think her last name?
Yeah, Street, yeah.
For her, towards her, helping her with the loss of her husband, partner Pete, Ghost Slideways, the photographer. We did our auction the other week at Huntley Speedway, and we managed to raise $12,500 in about 3 hours for cancer and for her. So it was a privilege to go down and be able to help present that cheque to her kids and see the raw emotion from her. And it was very humbling to be able to do that, mate. So that was cool as well, doing that on the weekend.
Yeah, no. It was a great surprise. You just saw it on their face, when you walked in there from the entrance and when you started going live yourself and Pete. And then once Pete walked up to hand over the check and the people around it, those are the good things that we do to help out many in our sport. We always talk highly on the show about a Speedway family. And this is just some of the ways we do as Kokpit Media. We get out there and do what we need to do. We do fundraising events like you've just mentioned. We had the likes of Pollard Crane, Slater Boys, Thomas on board there, and then Pete come on and joined us as well. But, we've got more of this coming up. Put down in your calendar November, because the Huntley International Speedway calendar for next year is out. That's when they're going to run the Pollard Crane Superstock teams. So we'll be doing that build-up again in the Friday night, I'm guessing. If Red Wooten was sitting here with us, he'd be telling us, you're doing it, boys. Yeah. Come back and do another fundraiser. So that's when to put it in your calendar. It's only 5 or 6 months away. November is the month's end, because today's the last day of this month of May. Hard to believe. June tomorrow. June, July, August, September. Back in the Speedway in 5 months' time, mate. And talking of back into things, next Thursday, 10 o'clock, it is the biggest or the greatest show on dirt. It's the New Zealand Superstock Teams Championships down at Palmerston North, running for consecutive years. As we all know, the pilgrimage of fans, not only from New Zealand, but Australia and even the UK, with the Lions coming back, no doubt, it's going to be bigger and better. So if you want to get your hand on tickets, 10 o'clock tomorrow week, next Thursday, jump on the phones.
Look out, the internet's going to crash, man. I tell you, the internet's going to crash. She's going to be all on for young and old and those for tickets. But, that's another exciting. I mean, shit, it just happened so quick, mate. There really is not much of an off-season, is there? It's all go, whoa. And, of course, in a couple of weeks, we are starting our Capital RC 2023 Superstock E-Series. We have 8 real Superstock drivers coming to join us. I started painting some liveries today and putting them in the game. Our mate Dur has been doing a bit behind the scenes. We've moved it out by a week, so where it was going to be next, not this Sunday, the following Sunday, we've moved it out another week for the start of that series, so that's going to be good. So the series is brought to you by Capital RC. Go and support them if you're into your RC racing stock, RC stock cars, everything they do it now. It's all go. our live stream of that event each week is brought to you by Pops Mowers and Chainsaws, Pops online store. We all know him. He supported us with our Street Stock series, Kin. So he was a great supporter, and he's come back to sponsor the live stream of the racing. And then our New Zealand Champs is going to be brought to you by FCS Limited for that, which is the final round. So there's a lot happening in this E-Series. It's going to be exciting, and there's going to be some fun. It's going to be awesome, Kins, and I can't wait to get amongst it. And I'm not driving as much, but also a very special round as well. We will be having for our mate Richie MMJ, who passed away sadly from cancer last year. But we are doing his memorial race come in that series as well, which is going to be something special coming up for that as well. So tune in for those. What else we got quickly? Oh, of course, the big news all over Facebook, Kins, the last few days is Jason Long.
Yeah, Jason Long, well, what can you say what he's achieved in his Superstock with the 1NZ, 2NZ and multiple titles, Grand Slam, to be honest with you. Everyone knows all about it, the purchase of the Super Saloon, the 1NZ, and look, everyone knew that he was going to jump in the Super Saloon. We might have to ask Michael, would he ever go in the Super Saloon or a stock car? One of the questions is going to pop up, no doubt, in our chat. But yeah, Jason's back, and we hope to catch up with Jason and Dan Murray one day and have him on the show.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Jason during the week and asked him if he would like to come on with Dad Murray and join us and talk to us all things Super Saloons and where he's heading and what brought this on and, you know, it's what's bringing him out of retirement. He said he is very, very busy this week or next week when I wanted to get him on because we had Michael on this week because the new business will be opening, the new Chipmunks Kids Playground that he's opening up in Napier here, I think opens up this week or next week. So, but he's going to come back to us. So we will hear from Jason and hopefully Murray all about their decision to get back into the sport after him retiring due to a head knock with a speedway and rugby. But it'll be interesting. We'll let people know when that one comes up. But I think that's about it. Oh, besides me beating. Go.
No, just got one more. Just one more. There is a Speedway weekend this weekend, even though it's a long weekend. King Charles' birthday weekend, 3-day weekend this weekend. I've just seen it on Facebook earlier today. If you want to go get your Speedway fix and you want to drive up north, I see Taipa Speedway are actually having a few cars race around. So that's one I'm aware of. I saw it on Dave Shaw, Petrol Fumes' page. So there you go. Thanks to Dave for that update there. And they've got one happening this weekend. I'm not too sure if anything's happening around my area. Most probably not. Now I've said it. I was thinking Waihi Beach traditionally would have an event, Waiharoa Speedway, but Waihi Beach got pretty well flooded the other day and got buggered with their wet weher. But anyway, enjoy your long weekend. Be safe.
Too, mate. I keep remembering stuff. We've got one of our fans or viewers that watches all the time, Murray Goodley. Happy birthday, mate. You do some amazing drawings and great input. So we'll better just. There we go. Just for you, buddy. Something cool. A bit different, mate.
Yeah, that was cool as. Yeah, that's right. Scott, Jason Long, the X11T Hypermac. Anyway, let's bring in Mr. Pickens. He's been sitting there nice and quiet and patient for the last 10 or so minutes. He's sitting there with us before he gets to head over to Australia. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, mate, thanks for taking time out because I know you're an extremely busy man. And, man, what a privilege it is to fly out Saturday morning over to Archerfield, eh?
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be, kind of bittersweet with the last show ever at Archerfield Speedway. I've raced a lot of years now and be really neat to be there for the last one. But at the same time, like I say, it's going to be sad to see that place go because it's a really neat speedway and it's just a shame to lose another one, but all the same, it's you just got to move with the times, I suppose, and I think like 70 something sprint cars there, so it'll be neat to watch them and hopefully we can get a win in the 50.
Yeah, mate. So what are you doing? Are you doing just solely in the midget, or are you going to be doing midget sprint car?
I'll just be running the midget on the Saturday. They're running sprint cars Friday and Saturday, so yeah, we'll be watching the sprint car, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll be giving a good nudge in the midget, that's for sure.
How many Kiwis, aside from yourself, or is there any others that are going to Archerfield with you? Race drivers?
I think Jaden Worthington is going to be running, and that would I'm pretty sure he's the only other Kiwi racing. So yeah, should be great.
Mate, we caught up a little while back. I think it was most probably when you were defending your 1NZ in the sprint car. I know you're the 2NZ now. So what's been happening since then? It's just about nearly every weekend you've been at a racetrack, I would guess, not only here in New Zealand, but traveling the world.
Yeah, we've been although Western Springs is shut down, we've been racing damn near every weekend really until about Easter. So yeah, it's been good. We've had a really solid season. Hopefully Western Springs can get up and running. It's one of those deals we probably didn't appreciate as much as what we should have done. Until it's gone, I guess, as the time you realise how special that place really is. And but at the same time, it was cool to get around some other tracks we wouldn't otherwise get to. So yeah, we now just got Australia this weekend at Archerfield in Brisbane, and we'll sit and wait, see if we can get a drive in America in the off season. But at this stage, I haven't got anything lined up, so we'll wait and see.
See what happens, mate. Look, we know how our season in New Zealand's been affected by, dare I say it, Mother Nature, and the weather hasn't been on our side for all the fans, let alone for the drivers and the crews that put in the endless hours, let alone the sponsors who support you guys. Do you get a weather update at Archerfield, mate? Because it's a bit of a flight, and I suppose you just have to deal with what happens, eh? You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, I don't really want one, to be honest. It rained out the last 2 times at Sydney. It was twice in a row I flew over there, and the last time I flew in Saturday morning, got rained out, changed my flight, and flew home Saturday night. So yeah, I'm over rain out, so I just don't want to know. We'll get over there and see what we got, I guess.
Yeah, mate. Hey, have you ever raced at Archerfield before?
Yeah, I raced there a ton of times for Jack Berry, who was based in Queensland. So that was in the Blue 29 car, and raced for Brett Morris, Australian Brett Morris, a fair few times. So probably the last, I want to say, 10 to 15, probably 12 to 15 years, been running there from time to time. So yeah, they had a neat Trans-Tasman type series they took to Archerfield. I ran the Vernon and Vasey cars there. So yeah, had some great memories at that place, and yeah, look forward to going back one more time.
We were talking beforehand, Craig Booker's caught up with Jason and Murray Longfather's son. Jace was having a break from the sport, and we all know why. And up on the Facebook, everyone sees everything on Facebook, mate. He's got a super saloon. Have you ever thought, or have you ever driven a super saloon, or been offered a chance to jump on behind the wheel in a super saloon?
Yeah, I ran one a couple of times.
Yeah.
For John Lovelady. He's a really neat guy, awesome family, of course. So yeah, no, that was really neat experience. A long time ago now, it's 10, 12 years ago now, but yeah, neat cars. And I sort of, chat with Craig Cardwell now and again, and we always talk about doing something. So you never know, I might jump into Craig's car one night and give it a steer. I mean, that thing's a wicked bit of kit and quite different to what I would have ran for John Lovelady years ago. They're quite different now. So yeah, it'd be neat to make the most of that opportunity.
Yeah, bringing all this American kind of style, let alone the Australian sedan look as well. Just seeing how they're designed now, the 4 bars coming into it. So a lot of development. We had Craig and Tony TC on a couple of weeks back, and how the class has just progressed and developed, where it's headed into the futures. I would guess watch the space. It's no different to what when you started your career, mate, way back in the days, to how the cars change, technology, and how it all works now. You can't kind of stay behind now. You got to keep on the pace and keep up the top if you want to be competitive.
Yeah, definitely. Things have moved a lot, although sprint cars and midgets are quite, I wouldn't say restricted, but they're there's not a whole lot you can do comparative to a late model. The late models are, they're absolutely, I'm talking American late models, are absolutely awesome machines, underneath the way they rear steer and that sort of thing is absolutely awesome, and it's a lot more technical than what a sprint car and midget would be in that respect. So it's awesome to see the super saloons adopt some of that technology. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've heard that before, actually. I've heard that comment where someone said about the American late models, just the technology and how they work these cars around those big tracks, and it's pretty next level. I've heard someone say that comment to me once. He says, mate, if you ever get a chance to go to the stage, go and watch some of the, Eldora as a track as an example. Watch that late model stuff. It's just unbelievable. Sorry, Booker, you're going to say something?
Cool,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, before you said about how you've got around a few more tracks this season with Western Springs not happening, and you got the Bay Park. What were your thoughts on the Bay Park track? We just talked to the boys from Bay Park last week, and he's done a lot of development and to that track. How did you find the track this season? Has it improved a lot?
Yeah, it's improved a ton. Man, they've done such an awesome job with that place. I think they won fireworks night really early on in their season. It was a massive crowd there, so it was really good to see them rewarded with that. And yeah, the track with the added banking, obviously they've lifted the wall, might have been 200 mil, I think, 8 inches. So it gave them a little bit more progressive banking. And Rodney Wood and his team have done a wicked job with the track. It's, I think it's always going to be dusty. There's no getting around that. But as far as the racing surface goes, it's it's pretty awesome. That's for sure. They've done a great job.
Awesome.
Hey, just want to send a shout out to Richard and Trudy Aldridge, who had joined a nice and early. P Knuckles watching. Carl Carpendale, he made a comment in there earlier in the piece as well about his new car. Somewhere along there in the chat, I see old Stu Russell's in there. He reckons he's already got his tickets for teams. He's already booked in. He's in the best bloody seat in the house there, fella. He's got it sorted. Steve Mitch Turner's watching. Carl, here we go. Car's alive and ready to rumble for the new season with a new design. Wish you all the best, mates. Hope things are going well. Good evening, all. Cheers from Melbourne town. Happy birthday to Muddy Goodley from Loz from Oz. What else we got here? Stu Russell this weekend at Waikaraka Park is in New Zealand.
Number one fan that's hitting over this weekend too, mate. Saying g'day. She's watching.
Appreciate the support, Tracy.
Yeah. She's hearty as, mate, when it comes to you. New Zealand RC Superstock Teams champs. Cheers, Stu. Thanks for that. Canterbury Rally is this weekend. So there's a fair bit going on back here in our little country. Actually, talking of your race and the closing of Archerfield, there must be a live stream of this. Do you know anything on that, or we just got to find out on the Archerfield Facebook page, I would guess?
Yeah, they'll have something on their Facebook page for sure. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's pay-per-view over there. So yeah, they'll have something for sure, definitely with 70-odd sprint cars. It'll be a big show.
All right, plenty going on there. Okay, Daniel Chalk. I knew someone was going to ask this for you, Michael. Would you ever race a super stock or a stock car? Would you ever jump in there, or go as far as a sidecar? Would you ever go at it?
I've actually had a go on a sidecar at Rosebank Road.
Oh, wow.
Craig Steinbring, he organised, because Craig Steinbring was involved with the midgets at the time with Car War Boys. So he organised for myself, Brock Maskovich and Hayden Williams to jump on as swingers. And I can safely say I'll be first and last time I ever go on a sidecar. That was a wild ride, man. It was. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for what those guys do. Man.
That'd be a bit of a different feeling, wouldn't it? Being that close to the ground and a wall hanging off the side of one of those.
You're just out of control. That was the spookiest. So they've got no brakes, and you sure as hell haven't got any brakes. You've got no steering. You're just hanging on for dear life. And I can't remember the guy's name, but I think that the engine was like a Yamaha R1. Anyway, he was really good, and he didn't hang about. He got after it, and I was shitting myself on the back.
Your heart be racing after that one, eh?
Yeah, I started to get arm pump holding on because I was probably holding on way tighter than what I needed to be. I guess I don't know, but so that was one of the worst things is you're struggling to hold on for the last little bit because. yeah, I'm sure I was holding on way tighter than I need to. But that's okay.
I'm just thinking about too. The other question there was around the super stock and the stock car. Steve Williams, I'm guessing back in Rotorua, will be holding and hosting the events that he was looking forward to, but it got rained out like many events. The celebrity is a super stock race books. I'm pretty sure it is. Eh?
Yeah,
Be good to get you
super
on.
stocks. Yeah.
Need to tee
Yeah,
you
that
up,
was
mate.
it.
Get you in a super stock bloody car and have some laps.
Yeah, I'd do it with those cats because they're probably not likely to fence you, but some of the regular boys, I'm sure I'd have a bloody big target on my back, and they're probably going to fence me pretty quick. But yeah, I think that was at Rotorua, wasn't it? That got rained out.
Yeah. It's such a great event for such a great cause, and 2 years running, it's just being postponed and for the rain and that, and it's so frustrating because really it's for Ronald McDonald House or something like that.
Yes,
so it's a bloody good cause, and a lot of drivers are in it, but yeah, he's just had a bad run, eh? I see there Troy Adamson's put speedwayaustralia.tv live streaming the event.
Awesome.
Oh, actually, Mike, thinking of Troy, he did send me a message on Facebook privately about a medium T-shirt. When you head over, bring over a medium T-shirt. I'm pretty sure that's what he said, because he's doing the photos. He's doing the photos for this particular magazine, by the way.
There you go.
It just look at that,
Awesome.
eh? Yeah, how cool is that? How cool is that though? Because
Really
this is
cool.
the first time you've been on the front of magazines. You're like the poster boy, because the poster's sitting right next to me with Racer products on it, and there's a big picture of you standing on top of your car going like this. You know, you should do, mate. How cool is that when you get coverage through stuff like magazines? You know, what's it like? What's life like for you when you're all over the media? You're on the telly. You're all over the social media. You're in these bloody magazines and everything. What's it like?
Oh, it's cool. You know, we try and engage our fans and have them involved as much as possible. And social media, we're able to do that and bring them along the journey. So it's neat. And, it's cool to be on mainstream TV a few months ago after our New Zealand title win. The Speedway doesn't get, I guess, a lot of, a lot of TV, but it's Sky Sport or it's CRC Motorsport. It's a motorsport channel. But, it was neat to get on mainstream TV and get some exposure for Speedway like it deserves.
Yeah, we seem to when we get on main TV, it seems to just be bad publicity half the time, doesn't it? Rather than the good stuff, having you on and talking all of the ups and of the sport, rather than us seeing the news portraying just the downsides when it happens, which is a bit disappointing for the sport because it's got so much to offer,
Yeah, definitely, mate. You're right. Yeah, it does. I guess, the media want to get hold of anything interesting. And unfortunately for the Joe Blogs, that's when a crash happens or someone gets hurt. But, there's a bloody good side to it too. And hopefully we can get a bit more of that in the future.
Yeah, mate, I saw a nice interview with you on the breakfast show with Jenny May, and we know Jenny May and her husband, they love going there with their twin boys, and she was just talking to you about how brilliant of a driver you were, what you do for the fans, what you do for the kids, and how you put on a show, at Western Springs, and it's been hampered with the wet weather, we know that. But, mate, that was a bloody good interview, because it got to talk a bit about what you've achieved, and it pretty well sums up with some of the people's comment in the chat here, the GOAT of New Zealand Speedway. You might beg to differ on there, but it's just how they address it. Luke Brown actually put their comment is the 3NZ modified driver, so mate,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're the real deal, eh? Hey.
I appreciate it. And it was quite neat going on set. I mean, it's the first time I've really done a live thing like that. So there's no rehearsal. There's no cocking that up. It's and it's for the whole of New Zealand to see it on breakfast. So it was pretty cool and neat to like I say, get some mainstream exposure for Speedway like it really does deserve.
Well, it's no different to what Booker was alluding to. It's putting our sport that we love, our passion we love, into the spotlight for the good stuff. And you're one of those, hence the reason why CRC ambassador, obviously, because you portray yourself in a professional way, in a professional manner. You've always seemed to have that thing about you. It's just something that you do. And I think everyone on board and everyone watching the show tonight can, just applaud you for what you do, mate, because you're pretty well just about the New Zealand billboard of Speedway in some sense, eh?
Yeah, try and make it for the good, that's for sure. And like I say, we've got, try and bring the fans along for the journey with our social media and it's you mentioned kids before, what we do, with merchandise and fan cards and bits and pieces, and a lot of other guys do it, of course. But the kids are really important for us because that's the next generation. I remember when I was just getting into quarter midgets, Tony Fabish was the New Zealand champion at the time in the midgets, and fluoro orange midget, and we asked him. We never actually did it for some reason. I can't remember why, but I always remember saying to my dad, man, I want my quarter midget to look like his. So as a kid, you always look up to those guys, and it's important to take. And I remember he spoke to me and talked to me, took the time out to talk to me, and I still talk to him today. I was his son Mitch races, so it's really important to talk to the kids and get them engaged, because you might have a fan for life. You just don't know.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Talking of fans, crew, John Fisher's alluded to this in the comments. Michael Pickens' crew and team are awesome people to be around and are always willing to help. He's the real goat, hood on your slim. So, mate, when you think about it, the crew, and I've actually seen you work on cars, and you do a lot of lives on your Facebook page, by the way. Give him a follow, Michael Pickens Racing, you'll see it all there. But you're always interactive on there, and that's the key part of it, engaging the audience at different age groups, because, man, when you have some damage to your car, 5 minutes you're in that shed working on it with your crew, eh?
Yeah, they're absolutely the best guys in the world. I mean, I absolutely could not race the midget and sprint car without them, that's for sure. And unfortunately, we do have to visit the chassis machine now and again. And I think with the first round of the International Midget Series this past season, and we jumped the midget, and the guys took the car away halfway through the night, stripped it down at the track. So we had parts, and surely we were in the pits. It was a bloody bomb site. But the guys, they took the car away, straightened it, and I actually jumped into Alec Inslee's midget, who's pitted next door to us, and we ended up running second in the feature. So that's what makes Speedway so special. You absolutely destroy a car. You think your night's absolutely done and dusted. You're down and out, and next minute the guys are fixing the car while you're still racing. You end up running second. So you can't do it with the absolute best people around you, and that's what makes me love Speedway so much. It ain't over till it's over.
Mate, you know what I love? When I watch you race and you're somewhere down mid-pack or at the back, you can never count you out. And I saw this at the recent New Zealand champs. I don't know what it is about you and the way you drive, but how you got in there and got through, and to get the 1NZ and so forth. Right, I don't know how you can describe what you do on the track, to be honest.
Yes, honestly, it was a race I didn't think we were going to win. And, Brad's been, the car to beat, definitely the last half of the season gone. They've had really, really good, consistent car speed. And we showed up there really honestly thinking, we're probably second place car here, if not worse. And we sort of struggled a little bit with the car, particularly the last half of the season. Sort of lost our way a little bit with it. I think we figured out where we need to be at, but definitely for that race, like I said before, you never ever give up. And lap traffic was on our side, and you just got to be, if you're given the opportunity, you've got to make the most of it when you hit lap traffic, and you can't flinch. You just got to crack straight into it, which we're just fortunate really the way it played out. Made the most of that opportunity. It was pretty special race. It made it probably a little bit more meaningful because none of us thought we were going to win, really, to be honest with you. So it was neat to go over the win.
You know what? Over the years, I watched Speedway, and I get so excited when I used to watch Skinny Coulson in the Super Saloon. I used to go to Bay Park and many other tracks. Palmy Teens is an example, that outside line that all we know Skinny Coulson knows. He turned on the show, it was got me real excited. And I was like, yeah. But to watch you, mate, when you're in a bloody race car, and you said it, you just don't give up. You get me excited, I just go Pickens, I'm like, yeah, go, and I just jump up and down and go, yeah, I just buzz out, eh?
Yeah, you got to grab it by the scruff, mate. You got these days, especially, everyone's got the, same motors, same chassis, same shocks, same tyre. I mean, most guys have got, especially in midgets and sprint cars, most of the guys have got the same equipment. So you got to do something the other guys aren't. So, and that's usually just running the living hell out of it, and trying not to crash, I guess. So it's what the fans go to see.
You're a class act, mate. Zach Harris, Michael Pickens, you can drive the 119V. There you go. If you need to jump into Superstock, Zach jumped in the show earlier. I think the
Awesome,
cars.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Here we go. Daniel Chalk, here's something for you, because most of the New Zealand drivers seem to be wanting to do this in their big life career. Formula One. Would that be a dream?
To be honest, I mean, yeah, Formula One would be cool, but my dream as a young fellow was always NASCAR.
Oh wow!
Speedway is traditionally, the sort of the building blocks, I suppose, to becoming a NASCAR driver. So that was always my dream. And it's funny you say that, because circuit racing is something I want to have a good crack at in the next wee while. So. And circuit racing leads on to F1. Not that I'm going to end up there, but it's NASCAR was always my goal, and we got there testing, but that's as far as we got. So awesome experience all the same.
So isn't old Gizzy going to be jumping in a bit of a NASCAR
I just saw that,
coming up? Yeah. Hey, Gizzy.
I think he's doing some NASCAR or something. He's been asked to do a race in NASCAR now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the road course in Chicago, which it's going to play into his hands because I've never run it before. It's the first time. So I think the cars, the latest gen of both the supercar and cup car are pretty close. So I think he'll do pretty good.
Yeah, no, big deal, right, when you go to the States. And I want to talk about that in particular, just to paint the picture of the viewers who are watching the show tonight, because you do Chili Bowl. A lot of people dream on going to Chili Bowl. I've had a dream of always going to Knoxville, and no doubt you've been to both places. Just paint it for the viewers who are watching our show, the whole Chili Bowl deal. How big is Chili Bowl in the States?
It's massive. I mean, most of you would have seen it on TV, but until you're there in the atmosphere, it's next level. It's the cars. Obviously, there's a lot of cars. There's a lot of unique cars there that you wouldn't otherwise see at a regular outdoor show. They're purpose-built for Chili Bowl and the other indoor events. So there's cars you wouldn't otherwise see. There's drivers you wouldn't otherwise see. Santino, he was my Chili Bowl teammate for Dave Mack Motorsports. He just ran third in the Indy 500. So it gives you an idea of the people that are there, and he showed up, and I was like, oh, who's this cat, and I Googled him and thought, he hasn't done too much, and then my wife Dallas said to me just the other day, said, man, that guy Santino, that was your Chili Bowl teammate, he was quick time in practice, and then he was fastest in qualifying for a little while, and like I say, ended up third. So it's pretty neat to see those sort of guys walking around the pit area. The atmosphere's it's mental. The place is absolutely jam packed, and it's a crazy event. And I say to people like that, not even into Speedway so much, it's an event you must go and see, because it's just wild.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've had, the same comments, and I've spoken about it. It's a dream to go over and check it out. Is it a week event? It's a big, massive build up to this whole event?
Yeah, so they've added a prelim night to it. So Sunday is practice now, and they run. Each driver will either run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and then everyone runs on the Saturday. So it's it's an intense place, and to give you an example of the place in drivers' meeting, they say, hey, look, if you guys are going to fight, you have to do it on the front straight, or you kick you out of the building. That's it. So we're gonna make the most. We're gonna put it on TV so everyone can see it. And they're not encouraging fighting, but it's those guys, they know how to put on a show. So
it's no PC crap over there, I tell you, eh?
Nah. Good old American
awesome.
boys.
Yeah, do it on the bloody track, exactly. Helen Sanford, you're right, Helen. I have to say the wives, girlfriends, allegiance to, so respect to all the partners who are involved with Speedway and their families. There's a lot of sacrifice, and there is a lot that happens on behind the scenes, aside from seeing the race car driver on track, him or her. So plenty going on there. Knoxville, mate. World of Outlaws. The history of that place is just unbelievable. You can become an instant sensation overnight, and it brings a big, healthy pay packet with that, I would guess. But what's Knoxville like?
It's crazy. It's got a really nuts atmosphere too. You know, there are a lot of people, and to be honest, in my opinion, Knoxville is more about the atmosphere than it is about the actual racing. You know, because of the speed of the place, there's not a huge amount of passing, but the place is just alive. Like it's you know, the whole entire town of Knoxville just shuts down pretty well for the race. And, so yeah, it's a mega event. It's one of the bigger paying sprint car races, and it's definitely you know, you see guys like Donny Schatz, they all sort of seem to come on form when Knoxville rolls around. So it's definitely another one that I recommend anyone seeing at least once in their lifetime for sure.
Yeah. Everyone talks Eldora as well. There's some big tracks over there, you know, and used to have back here in the past Bobby Pierce, the showman from out America, come and race some of the New Zealand super saloons. Win or lose, always be a proud supporter. Yeah, that's you, Trace. Good on you. Daniel Chalk, are you into V8 supercars, mate? You into the V8 supercars? You watch some of that?
Yeah, you know, I follow, you know, sort of most forms of motorsport really, but yeah, V8 supercars for sure. So it's yeah, obviously with Ben Gisborne is a bit of a hero of mine. And to see him racing sprint cars sort of engages all of us, I think, a bit more. So it's pretty cool to follow him.
You say a bit of a hero of yours, old Shane. So what was it like if he's of that caliber to you to race beside him in a sprint car? Because you're sort of the set the bar, I suppose, in New Zealand for that, to have him now come over and you say that about him. What was that like for you to race with Shane?
I just wanted to kick his ass. As much as we possibly could. It was awesome, yeah. But no, cool to have him in a sprint car, and hopefully he comes back next summer for a bit more, so we can we deal to him a little bit more. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Nothing like
you throw the guy.
say.
No, you got to have it. You got to, you know. And what was good about that too, in particular, because I think he actually won a race down at Miami, which is Booker's home track. And they had the sprint car down there. I remember the locals from there, the fans actually really enjoyed it because you don't normally run sprint cars down at Miami. No, yeah.
I'm huge. You know me, Kins. I love the open wheel stuff as well as everything, and that's what we miss a bit, I think, at Miami. I don't know if the track's right for it, but I mean, I'd like to see more open wheel stuff there as well. You know, that would be awesome to see.
Yeah, neat little place. It's pretty flat and narrow for a sprint car, and well, I imagine it's pretty decent around there. But yeah, it's definitely on the narrow side for a sprint car. But we didn't make it down to that sprint car show, but I believe it was a good race. So I imagine they'll go back again this next season.
I hope so, Cody. I never got to go either. I think I was doing something with the show somewhere, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think we were tied on somewhere else.
I got tied on the show somewhere, so I missed out as well. But
hey, your thoughts on Stratford Speedway? Cody's just got a question in the comments here. You like the track because it's such a tiny track, and the speed used to go in your midgets. Do you actually get our time to straighten it up, or you just sideways all the time?
Yeah, straighten up somewhat, but yeah, very little. Stratford's awesome. It's a really cool little track. We've won 3 titles there, actually. The 3 last New Zealand titles held there we've won. So obviously, it's been a good place to us, and and it puts on a hell of a show for midgets. It's probably the damn near perfect size for midgets. So it's a neat surface, and we enjoy going around. Those country tracks, the club run sort of outfit. It's kind of refreshing and down to earth. So we love the place. It's awesome.
Awesome. All right, Books, have you still got your little song you played earlier? I think he's just arrived and jumped into the show.
You
he said,
"Evening, gentlemen." Quick clip it for Murray.
Quickly play. Yeah, go on, mate.
See if it plays. Here we go.
Happy birthday, Maru. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Maru. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Just for
he's
the
just
fans,
jumping.
Hey, so Michael, what does Michael do when he's not racing? What do you have a bit of a personal life besides racing? Where Like some guys say they go mountain bike riding or just hang out with the kids, or what do you do when you're not racing, mate?
Yeah, I got a 5-year-old daughter and married to my wife Dallas, so we try and spend some family time. We've got some acreage out in the country, so always something to do at home around the place, and we've got some sheep and chickens and that sort of thing.
Oh.
So that keeps us pretty busy. I've got an old 65 CTM truck I've just restored over the last winter, so that's kept me entertained and enjoy trying to get that out when it's not raining up here. But that's few and far between, to be honest.
So you don't do any no other sort of physical activity like no mountain biking, just mainly farm and family when you're not racing. That's it. No.
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, to be honest with you, there's not a lot of time for anything else. I'm usually digging a hole or something around here, so that keeps me somewhat fit. But the fact that we're racing, damn near every week, and keeps you race fit at least. So that's the good side of it.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, you just touched on what you do in your personal life as well. I think Colin Bowe's kind of said it as well. Hi guys, can you please ask Michael if he has or will restore the black number 4 Ed Pink engine Seamount midget? He raced many moons back in Australia. From memory, number 4 was Gold Leaf. Brings back any memories, mate? You working on that?
Yeah, that's sitting in my shed.
Yeah.
So the plan is to restore it one day. It's a pretty special car. We won damn near every race we ran in that car. We didn't run it a whole lot. It was just for the international series. So it's sort of a part schedule I ran that year for Seamount Racing. It's a really, really special car and absolute badass looking car too. It was super gloss black, like beautiful deep gloss black paint job. The sign writing had a clear coat over it, so all the sign writing was like super glossy and it was proper gold leaf lettering done by Brent Holden in Auckland here. So one day that'll be rebuilt. I haven't started it yet, but I've got the car and it got sold to Brendan Palmer in Australia, so I've got as much stuff as what he had for it back here in New Zealand to start the rebuild.
Yeah, talking about all that sign writing, that graphic stuff, Booker's thinking to his model, I might have to play with my Photoshop because he's just created some nice looking cars for our E-Series that we're going to be starting on the 18th of June with the Superstock drivers, thanks to the Levines, the RC.
RC, yeah, capital RC, yep. Well, I see there was a comment earlier for Speedway 2, the Waikareka Park, the Auckland RCs have got their stuff this weekend too or something, I think.
Teams,
so,
Superstock teams,
Superstock teams,
that's right,
stock cars, you can go and watch that. And I believe they do it in the club rooms at Waikareka Park. So if you're in Auckland, you can go and watch that as well if you want a Speedway fix in the miniature side of things. They get pretty into it. So like a lot of these actual Superstock guys and that actually run in the off season, they run these RC stock cars and stuff. Have you ever looked at doing any sort of RC stuff yourself there, Michael?
I haven't, to be honest, but there's a guy, Dave Jick, who's still a sponsor of mine. He owns Logic Print, and he raced midgets, but before that he was the world champ in slot car racing.
Oh wow!
Wow! Pretty obviously very, very good at it.
That's actually taken off again. I've got a couple of mates that go out every week and do slot car racing. It's this electric stuff, so they make their own cars and everything, and they really get into it. Slot car racing, it's quite neat. Because as a kid, I had a slot car set, and and I remember in Miami here, or in Napier here, there used to be a big building on Marine Parade where you go and you could pay your money and race a slot car, and it had this huge track on the Marine Parade. So it's quite good to see that stuff coming back. Well, you may do that with your is it daughter? Get her into that to start with, mate.
Yeah, I can't see her doing that, but we'll see. She's more into ponies and princesses, I think. But we'll see.
Ponies half a horsepower, isn't it? So.
Tracy Vincent, big fan, obviously. She's going to Archerfield this weekend. What's your favourite track in America?
In America, my favourite track. There's honestly, you couldn't really put it down to one, but Kokomo is probably one of the best tracks in America. I'd say it's good for sprint cars, midgets, everything, and it's Yeah, I've won a USAC race there against Kyle Larson years ago, so I can kind of claim I bet him in at least one race over there. So it was pretty cool. That was actually in the Jack Berry car, so that was an Australian-known car that we won, and it was pretty cool.
Wicked.
What
Did
about
you
New
enjoy the
Zealand? You
track?
got a favourite track in New Zealand?
New Zealand track.
Favourite track in New Zealand? I mean, you have to say Western Springs, just, the history of the place and atmosphere and all the rest of it. Hopefully we get to race there again and they get it going for this season.
Yeah. Be good to have the international guys come back as well. We love having the international guys travel over.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's cool for the fans to see, and it keeps us honest. You can win as much as you can against the local guys, but when you do it against the best guys in the world, that's when people sit up and pay attention. So it's neat for our local guys to have that competition.
What's your bogey track in New Zealand? Daniel Chalk asking.
My bogey track. My bogey track. Not really. Probably Huntley, I suppose. We've won some races. I won a New Zealand title at Huntley, but it has been a bogey track in the past too. So that not saying I don't like it, but it probably that would be the one.
You race many tracks down in the South Island?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. I mean, Nelson, Ruapuna, Woodford Glen, Cromwell. That's it, I think. Yeah, we never got up to the West Coast or anything like that.
How do you find Woodford Glen with that tight corner, turn 3 and 4?
It's not my favourite. I mean, it probably lends itself to stock cars and that, gives them probably an opportunity to nail someone, but definitely for midgets and sprint cars, it's a bit stop start, real hard on the brake there. I remember we ran the midgets there once, and it just destroyed a set of brakes in one night. So it's you just got to woe the car up so much. So not ideal for midgets and sprint cars, but I think the other classes they get around there pretty good.
So you fly out Saturday morning. So what does Michael Pickens do for Thursday, Friday? How do you prepare yourself? Because this is quite a big deal, eh? We were talking about earlier in the show, Archerfield. This is the last racing ever at a facility that many have grown up watching, over the years and over the decades, made friends, made networks and all sorts, remembered many great drivers from the place. How do you get yourself prepared for a big event like that,
To be honest, I mean, I've still got to work every day. I jump on a plane at, I don't know, is it 6 o'clock Saturday morning? I think it is. So, no, as far as preparation, it's, the car and everything's obviously there already. So that's out of my hands. I just trust that they do their part, which they will, and prepare it. So it's fast and lasts all 50 laps, of course. So, my job's easy. I just grab my gear bag and get out of here on Saturday morning. So it's not too big a deal.
So do you go to the gym, mate? Because I'm thinking all this driving going round and round and round, it makes me dizzy when I watch it. But do you go to the gym? Do you have you got a fitness regime or special food you have to eat or something? What do you do to keep yourself going and keep going and keep going weekend and weekend and weekend and weekend out?
My wife would laugh if she heard you say that, but nah, just racing, mate.
Really? You're just a natural. You're just natural muscle memory, and that's all it is. There's no physical stuff you're doing. There's no curls you're doing. No,
I remember when I first started my first ever midget feature. I was 15 years old, and actually the first midget race I ever won, for that matter, was. I won it with no power steering. We had a big crash the week before, and we rebuilt the car, and we put just regular power steer, like regular automotive power steer fluid in it. And in one of the midget sprint car box, you have to have a high temp rating, and it all balled up anyway, evaporated to the point where I had no power steering. And young fella was 17, I think, when I won my first feature, and I'll never forget that. And I basically just fell out of the car and lay flat on my back for a couple of minutes. I was just absolutely exhausted. But I mean, when I first started, I was 15, and it definitely knocks the wind out of you for a little bit. But I think over time, you know, your body just gets used to it, and the more you race, that you just the I don't know if it's muscle memory or what it is, but I just seem to jump in anytime and be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, lucky, mate. You must have got little Popeye arms going on there. You
We
know, the
said
good
before,
old
kids, he
character.
digs holes out the back at the
He digs
property
holes.
there.
That's your fitness, you do, eh? Holy hell, you know.
I think the best thing, I used to race, well, not race, but I used to ride a lot of motocross stuff in Woodhull and that sort of thing, and I did do a lot of mountain bike riding when I was younger. But yeah, the best fitness, in my opinion, is motocross, man. It's you know, for arm pump and that sort of thing. When I was younger, I did do it. That definitely did help me a lot. But since then, I think I've just gotten used to it.
Did you say you did the Woodville motocross?
No, I ran my motocross bike up at Woodhull through the sand trail.
Woodhull,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever interested, have a look. It's I had a GoPro on one afternoon, and on YouTube it's Woodhull fanging, and that's when I was probably young and dumb and absolutely through the trees. It was
Yeah, Scott Honeybones just put in here, Brisbane's Saturday's fine, 24 degrees. Colin Bogue, do you mentor any drivers? Yeah, so it looks good weather-wise. From Colin Bogue, do you mentor any drivers? What has racing meant to you over your time behind the wheel? And do you feel you have a target on your back when you're out on the track? So first one, mentor drivers at the track.
None in particular, although you know, like Alec Inslee, he's the nephew of Justin Inslee, who builds my race cars. So, you know, from time to time, we sort of, you know, help him if he needs help. Although, as of late, he's been getting a lot better. So, we've got to be careful with how much I help him, of course. So. But yeah, no one really in particular. Although that's, yes, it's something I wouldn't mind doing a bit more of, especially once I retire, for sure.
Yeah, what has racing meant to you over the time behind the wheel? What's it meant to you, mate, over the years?
It's everything. You know, I've met, you know, people, you know, friends that I'll have for life. You know, I think that's probably the most important thing to me personally. You know, not only here but Australia and America, and you know, people I drove for, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I still talk to now and again to this day. So yeah, the friendships and the people you meet along the way is really important to me.
And I guess you must feel like you always got a target. Look, with the amount of NZs you won and titles you won, the accolades speak for itself, but you must feel like you have a target on your back all the time, eh?
Oh, yeah, but you just don't look back, mate. You look forward.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just nature of the beast. And, you know, Speedways, you know, it's always it's a tough gig, and you can never sit on your hands. You always, you know, this season proved that. You know, we struggled with car speed, and we weren't as good as what we normally would be. So the target kind of disappeared a little bit, to be honest, until after the New Zealand title, I guess. But so you always got to be just looking forward and trying to get better.
Right, we've got Aaron Tripp. G'day. Is it SoCal, is it?
Yep,
Is it
Southern
Cali?
California.
Southern California. I thought it was Southern Cali. Aaron Tripp over in the States, Booker.
Hey,
Our American viewers are watching, eh?
Hey, just
How you
to see
going, Aaron?
Michael away. I was going to say, what was more
Sleepy
nerve-wracking
trip.
for you, Michael, your first race you ever had, or you sending your child off to school for the first time?
Oh, that was a sigh of relief sending her off to school. Wipe my hand on it. No, it was really cool. But yeah, sending her off to school for sure. Yeah, that was a big milestone for her, and she's enjoying it. Thank God.
Does she like being around the race car, mate, at all, or is she?
She's really there for the popcorn and fizzy drink, I think.
Well, one day behind the wheel, what do you reckon? If you had your way, would you throw her in the little kids thing, get her behind the wheel, have a go at it? May not be a cup of tea, but you know.
Yeah, I want her to do whatever she wants to do. If she's into
Fair
it,
enough.
she can do it. If she's not, then she can ride horses or whatever she wants to do. You know, I think it's important to encourage their passion. If they're not passionate
100%.
about something, then it's just like myself. I've none of my family is been into speedway or racing for that matter, and but they supported me with the passion I had. So I'll definitely do the same for her.
So what
Would you
got
give
you
jet
into it?
sprinting a go?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'll come back to Booker's question. Just Scott Honeybone, would you give jet sprinting a shot?
Oh man, I'd love to. We did a fundraising campaign years ago for it was called Pickens for NASCAR, and we need to raise some money to get some funding up there for a pavement late model, and it was called Big Chief. I'm not sure if it's actually still around, but he was the current New Zealand title holder, and I can't remember. I think it was down Napier Way. There must be a jet sprint track
Yeah,
down
out the
there.
back there they go. Yeah.
Yeah, and man, that was I think Craig Holland built the motor for it. It was just mega. But yeah, man, I'd love to have a go.
I'll tell you a story. I used to live in Taupo years ago, and there was Brian Smith and Reed Smith, who are huge jet boat guys and both been New Zealand titles, and he asked me to help him out one weekend to change the prop and stuff or something in the jet boat, and so we took it down to the river there at Taupo at the back there, and he said, jump in and we'll go for a skid, and it took off. I've never accelerated so fast in my life as when a jet boat took off. I've been in some fast stuff up until then, and I'm standing there and he goes like this to me, and I go, oh yeah, g'day mate, and next minute it's just bang, bang, back the other way, and I just couldn't believe it. No wonder you want to rush that stuff, mate. That was, and he said to me, did you feel that? It skidded off the line. I said, you're on water. How the hell do you skid off the line in a jet boat? So, yeah, they are fast, eh? They are quick.
Like really, really impressive. Yeah, and then the guys that drive them are pretty dialed. So it's even more impressive. You honestly don't think a boat would have, I want to say grip, obviously, but they actually just grip the water with the way they're designed. It's bloody impressive, that's sure.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest. I got crap myself when he turned and went back the other way. I thought I was going to fall out of the bloody boat.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, Daryl Hutton was Big Chief. There we go. Everyone's put in the comments.
Yep.
Daryl Hutton.
Awesome,
okay.
guy.
Oh, we might have to venture in there during the off season of Speedway and talk to some of these guys that do jet sprinting on the show somewhere along.
It's next level, that stuff. Seriously, it really is.
Yeah, we'll talk to some.
Kiwi's actually got a really big name overseas, like in America and Australia in jet sprinting. So yeah,
and they sound cool too, eh, Michael?
Oh, they're badass. Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, sound cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carl Carpendale, I still remember the first time I met you at Bay Park 2012. I told you were my idol, and you said, I'm just another driver, still one of the best, and I class you as a mate. Carl actually's got a new TQ that he runs. The offer's still there, bud. So if you want to have a go in at one time, no doubt be in Gisborne, he's open for you to jump into his little TQ and give it shit, cool, like you would say, and have some fun, mate. Yeah, awesome. Good luck this week. Yeah, good luck this weekend. Look at all those trophies behind. Yeah, impressive, mate. It's an impressive trophy cabinet, and they look really, really good there. Hey, Box, look at that. Look at that.
That's a lot of trophies, mate. You see, how do we see that many behind one person? I suppose that goes to show cool. what you'd achieved, didn't you? I mean, is it all-time winners or something? All-time, what was it? What were you saying earlier, KINSER?
Up to 200 and I think it's 212 feature wins, over every single car and every country I've run in. So yeah, pretty cool. A lot of really special memories behind me in some of those trophies. Some really, really wicked races, and both here and Australia and America. So memories are cherished forever.
Awesome.
Yeah, mate. General Chalk, just quickly, what year did you start racing the sprint car?
Would have been about 10. I think it's my 10th season of midgets, so 2013.
We'll go back to my question too. We missed out, kids. So what got you into Speedway, mate? How'd you get a passion and involved in it right from the start there? What was?
So I grew up on a farm, and we moved to the city. I was probably 10, 11 years old, and I always rode dirt bikes, just mucking around on the farm. So when we moved to the city, I bugged my parents to get into go-karting, And at Rosebank Road, there's obviously the Speedway, Rosebank Road Speedway, next to the go-kart track. And now and again, they'd run the quarter midgets with on the same day as the kart. So that's really how we got into it, just purely really by chance. I mean, my dad would take me as a kid, and now and again, a couple of times throughout the summer, but we weren't hardcore fans or anything as such. So we, I think it was actually Aaron Drever's car. I jumped in, and they said, cut some laps, and true, my style was blow the thing up, and it pleased the motor, so I had to hand him back the keys, and say sorry, but and off we went, and that sort of started. For us going racing, quarter midgets back then at least they were a bit more turnkey and less involved with what the go-karting was at that time. So I mean, a lot of it really came down to just by chance, and where it went from there was pretty cool to look back on, really.
Awesome.
Okay, mate, we could sit here and talk. It's just clicked over 8:30, and it's been awesome catching up with you again, Mike, having a chat with you and how things have been going since we last caught up. And you're heading up to Archerfield Saturday morning, and what a pleasure that is to race, at the last time at a wonderful place that's brought and given so many memories to so many others. Wish you all the best going forward, mate. We know you have a bit of a sim somewhere hiding away. We'll have to get you out on the track. I think that's the only time that myself and Book will be able to beat you. We'll be online. But
I might not race in case he beats me on that too, mate. I might.
I think you'll beat me, that's safe to say.
And the real thing, you'll have to give us a lap start and then try and catch us.
Yeah.
But nah.
And the real thing, I'd want a 24-hour start, Kins.
Hey, I wish you all the best. Thanks, mate, for joining us. Safe travels to Oz and for the rest of the season, and no doubt we'll catch up again once the season comes back around again, eh? So we do thank you once again, Mike. Michael
Thanks
Pickens
for having me
joining
on the
us.
show. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
awesome,
mate, and
mate.
wish you the
Thank
best
you.
for the rest. I hope you get a drive in the off season over there in America too that you're looking for. So wish you all the best if that happens too.
Thanks again, guys, and thanks to everyone who tuned in and watched too.
Okay, cheers, mate. Thanks,
Thanks, Michael. Thank you.
guys.
Awesome. Okay, what a cool show that was. Michael Pickens, 10 times 1NZ on the midgets, and you can check out his Facebook page. Michael Pickens has it all there, Michael Pickens Racing. And, mate, the guy is all class. That's all you can say. True ambassador for Speedway. Been a champion since he actually hit the dirt, to be honest with you, and what he's achieved and where he's travelled the country, the world with Speedway. And, mate, he's just a true, as people have already alluded to, GOAT in this car. He's unreal. He's unreal on the track. Unreal.
It blows me away too that he didn't come from a Speedway background and anything like that. You know, he's just a young farming kid, and look at him now, mate. Just incredible. Yeah, just incredible, and an amazing talent. I mean, shit, we've got some amazing talent in our motorsport in New Zealand, haven't we? When we look back at some of the drivers in every sport and every class, mate, and even jet boats, Anything with an engine in this country, we seem to do well. So that's always good. But yeah, hey, not this weekend. The next weekend, me and Reno are going to be in Huntley at their prize giving, having a bit of fun with all the peoples up there, and looking forward to that. And very privileged to be invited to help out and do that as well. So yeah, that's awesome, mate.
Yeah, we might do a bit of a shed night next week and just catch up with a couple of the wonderful volunteers, the crews over at Huntley, ahead of their big night, which is, like you say, next Saturday. Looking forward to it. There's also another big event in Hamilton that night as well. Yes. So hopefully no one jumping over the fence.
No fence jumpers.
Hey, and one day, mate, our show that we do, myself and Booker, we'll get on this magazine one day. We'll be the front page
news. We were supposed to be on that magazine, but we never got the article properly, so we got asked by the last owners, but I was too lazy. Nah.
We'll get around to it.
Don't forget to tune in a few weeks. People of our E-Series are starting up. We'll start doing some introductions soon of our real drivers that are going to join us on some cars, show you the cars we're doing, the graphics and everything. That looks cool. And we can't thank our sponsors enough. Capital RC, Keegan Levine at Capital RC,
Pops.
Colin at Pops. Go to the Pops online store, www.popschainsaws.co.nz. You can get everything you need on there. We'll do mowers, chainsaws, paints, generators, water pumps, you name it in the small motors industry, you can get it from Pops. So yeah, and then FCS Limited, who's jumping on with us with the New Zealand champs, so that we're going to hold. So that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, a lot of things happening and coming up. And yeah, we might do a shed night. I know you guys out there and girls out there enjoy our shed night, so we might see if we can get in the shed next week and come talk some rubbish with us.
Exactly, come and have some fun. Hey, just wanted to send a big shout out to Charlie Sauter, the young guy that's defending the brisket title. It's a big day for Charlie. He actually turns 21 today, so I caught up with the young man, and he wants to come and join us on the show and talk about the Buddha to the briskers and everything like that. So we're hoping to have him on our online series, but he's going to be a busy man. We're already seeing some of the racing unfold over there, but yeah, he's turning 21. Aaron Tripp, 2 Kiwis at the Indy 500 was awesome. Scotty Dixon and
McLaughlin,
Scott McLaughlin, the 2 Scotties, yeah, going real good. So it's good to see. And yeah, we might have to tee up something there, Aaron, and catch up and interview someone from over in the States one day with your help, maybe. But thanks for jumping on the show from over there and enjoying it, and we'll see what we can do. But, you know, to everyone out there, if you're going to be heading off for this long weekend, 3-day weekend, please be safe out there.
Yep.
The drive to the conditions, because the weather, we just don't know what it's going to turn up these days. So enjoy your long weekend. Just be safe out there. If you're going to be traveling to some of the speedway events, whether it's RCs up in Auckland or heading up towards Taipei to watch some speedway or just traveling in general, we'd love to see you back watching the show on Wednesday. And don't forget to, as Booker said, June 18, the live stream of our first Capital RCs Parts and Accessories 2023 Superstocks E-Series. Take care, everyone. See you later.
be safe. Thank you.
Welcome along, everyone. What was it like, that experience, jumping into your first race?
It's been my life ever since I can remember.
Look, it really was unbelievable.
I think it's awesome.
Just go out there and give it your every time. And
When you're young and you get in your old man super stock and you wreck it, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Craig Booker with the big smile. He is the voice that's behind what you get to hear every Sunday night.
Give it the hoot, Nanny. Look at that field. Doesn't it look fantastic?